Like, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Love Witch. Today, our episode is going to focus on healing your inner child. So we're going to talk about childhood wounds, what you can do to step into the healing aspect of taking ownership of that and healing your own inner child, what that looks like when you're not healed, what you can do about it, and all kinds of other things around this topic. It's so very, very important to be able to love and nurture that inner child and heal the wounds from the past. So today on The Love Witch, that's what we're talking about. And I'm so happy that you guys are here to join us. If you're watching this episode on the replay, of course, there will always be information in this. If you're live, you can chat, join us on the chat room and post questions and comments. And it's just such a wonderful opportunity for us to connect with you. The Love Witch connects with people all over the world. So many, many different countries tune in with us. And we're so happy to see our friends from all over the world. So be sure you check out our playlist for all previous versions that are pre-recorded of The Love Witch. It'll answer all kinds of questions, no matter what you have going on in your life, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So I'm just excited to get started. Oh, we got some people popping in. Hello. Hi, Karina and Tracy. Hello, beautiful Tracy. Oh, thank you. We're doing the inner child today. So I was thinking some little ponies. This is actually how I used to wear my hair when I was little. So that's kind of weird till I got bubble gum in it and had to get it cut short. Do you remember Bub's Daddy? I don't know if you had Bub's Daddy over there in the UK.
And now it's bubblegum colored.
Yeah, right now it is bubblegum colored. I had long blonde hair down my back and I had a Bub's Daddy. I shoved the whole thing in my mouth. And I remember walking through the field catching frogs and all of a sudden going, uh-oh, where's my bubble gum? And I turned and looked and it was just all through my hair. So my mom had to cut my hair short. So, but anyway, I think that's relevant because we're talking about inner child and it brings up a lot of memories of our childhood, what we went through as children, traumas that we may still be holding, wounds that we carry, how that affects us, but also the really, really amazing parts of you that were authentically you when you were a child. We're going to see if we can reignite your love for life through really igniting your inner child today. So I'm really, really happy you're here. Oh, and Lupe, thank you for joining us. And we got Diana Waddell. Hello, Diana. And Allison. Hi, Allison. Thank you guys for tuning in. So if you missed my bubblegum story, I'm curious, did any of you guys have to cut your long locks when you were a kid because you got bubblegum in your hair? So anyway, I don't have that problem now, but as my hair gets longer, I'll just have to watch how I chew my gum. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I will read the card from the Spiritual Anatomy Divination card deck, and then we'll open up more conversation and dialogue. I'm also going to lead you through a short guided meditation to help you reignite your inner child, to help you tap in with that beautiful, authentic part of you and clear out some wounds, okay? So I'll read this first so that we can kind of set the tone and get more familiar with the card. All right, inner child. It's time for you to let your inner child out to play. Do you remember being a child and looking at the world with wonder and amazement? It didn't matter how much money your family had or didn't have. Spinning in circles, running through long grass, and catching tadpoles could keep you happy for an entire day. This part of you still exists and longs to be rediscovered by the grown-up you. This part of you, a part of you feels that life is not fun anymore, and you may have succumbed to the drudgery of being an adult that feels only duty and responsibility. Once you engage your inner child, even those mundane things will shine with a new quality of delight. This card does not suggest that you walk away from your grown-up responsibilities. It suggests that you allow your inner child to help you transform your personal experiences within them. A change of perspective is all that is needed for your creativity and zest for life to return. It may help you to spend time with children and observe how they look at the world. Instead of getting through another day, try to explore everything you encounter in a day. Allow your inner child to merge with you now. Your wide-eyed excitement will lift your spirits and transform the way you see your life. And if you still want to spin in circles, run through long grass and catch tadpoles, by all means, go ahead. And here's some alternative and additional meanings. It may be your life path to work with children. There is an issue regarding children that needs to be healed. You may be thinking about your children, or they are thinking about you. Your future children may be selecting you right now to be their parent. Heal childhood wounds so that your childlike joy will return. Go out and do something silly. All right, I love this card. A lot of times my clients will select that card when they're, a lot of times when they're just burdened by life, having too many issues and responsibilities, and they're forgetting to play. I mean, we have to remember to play. We have to have joy in our life. No one's just going to come knock on our door and go, hey, can I make you happy today? No, that's our job. So we have to remember to laugh. We have to remember to not be so hard on ourselves, to be able to be silly, to just be able to go through life by changing our perspective around things. I'm not saying that life isn't hard. Life is challenging. We came here to go through challenges. But when we let those challenges overtake us and absorb too much of our day, too much of our time, too much of our energy, we're letting our joy slip away. We're letting our child down, our inner child. So just as you would, if you were going through something difficult and you had a little one next to you, you would probably still take them to the park, or still take them to get donuts, or still do something special with them so that they didn't get overwhelmed with the heaviness of some adult challenges. But why aren't you doing that for yourself? Why aren't you unplugging from whatever drama, crisis, or trauma is happening and allowing yourself to lift your spirit, bringing yourself up to a higher vibration with more joy? It'll start to balance out whatever heaviness you're going through if you can get your vibration into a higher space, even for a little while. So I always like to say that. And, in my life, I've gone through lots and lots of loss. I think I've told you guys all, I literally have lost everything and started over from zero 4 different times. No furniture, no car, no job, nothing, and no family support. So I had to do it on my own. And, when you're going through very heavy times, challenging times, the world seems to be against you. It's like you still, even in those moments, especially in those moments, need to go, you know what? I'm going to stop my brain from worrying. I'm going to unplug from this mess for a minute, and I'm going to go play, and whatever that is to you that lifts your spirit. It's so vitally important because it'll bring in the clarity for you and elevate your energy for you to transform the difficulty that you have going on in your life. It'll help you get through it faster. So it's not a diversion. It's actually a benefit for you to be able to find something like that to lift your spirit, and then come in and take another look, or come in with fresh energy or more energy or a higher vibration to deal with the challenge that you're facing. So that's why it's so very, very important to take care of yourself and nurture yourself inside, so your inner child can feel that liveliness, that joy, and help change your perspective on what's happening.
I want to add to that too. I've had many conversations.
Do you want to come here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had many conversations. So funny. You got bubblegum hair and my hair is like bluish gray. I've had many conversations with people that are like older than me, and I'll talk to them and I'm like, oh, like, do you still feel like you're young? And they're like, oh my God, I still feel like I'm 19.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And it always makes me laugh. So I'm like, you still feel like you're 60? And then I look back and I'm like, that's so weird, because sometimes I still feel like I'm 19 too. And I'm like in my 20s. But it makes me laugh because it makes me realize too, like, your body gets older, like you age, but you're still exactly who you are on the inside. Like, you're still your inner child, even though you may get older. Like, you're still you, and you're still that, like, that kid on the inside. So I think, like, knowing how to nurture and care for that, and also like witness that, that we are still who we are, even though life changes our situation.
If you think about it, you're the most authentic you. And they always say between the ages of like 10 and 12. Okay. So if you can remember the things that you love to do, and for me, that's why I wrote the book. And I was so good at catching tadpoles and frogs and everything. We had a big field across our house in California. And so we crossed the street, we'd like build tumbleweed forts, and then we'd catch the tadpoles, and then we'd play, we'd act a lot. And I had like certain names, like nicknames that I made them call me. Like I would always be a character. So when I was younger than that, I made everyone call me Pinocchio. And then as I grew older, I made everyone call me Leonard.
So weird.
So whatever. And I did have an imaginary friend, of course, probably was a ghost. But looking back, it's like so much creativity, imagination, playfulness, building things with just, I did make mud pies, dry them in the sun, and then eat them. So I'm very familiar with how dirt tastes in California. Yeah, I used to even catch, this is gross. This is a gross part.
I know this. I already know what you're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
This is disgusting.
After rain, I would go outside and chase down the snail trails because they're all shiny. And then I'd find the snails and go, and then eat them. I don't know why I did that.
Fresh escargot.
Yeah.
Fresh caught.
Yeah, exactly. So we do weird things as kids, and I'm not saying or suggesting that you do those exact same things.
Do. Who's stopping you?
Well, yeah, you could. I'm still alive, so. But it's really important that you just, I wasn't thinking that's gross, or maybe it doesn't taste good, or maybe it's not good for my health, or whatever. I was just in the moment. I was
like,
playing.
What does this lip taste like? I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out today.
Yeah. And they'd be like, oh no, it's raining. Go get Diana. I'd be out there chasing all the snails, And then the other thing I always do when it rained, and I always would put on my little yellow raincoat with my hood up and my little rain boots. And then I'd walk up and down in the gutters, back and forth in front of the house. That's probably all as far as I was allowed to go. And I'd slosh in the rain in the gutter. And I would do this eating a banana. So I'm like all yellow. And I would do it because I remember my mom would say, oh, your hair gets so nice and curly in the humidity. Go walk in the rain. And so I'm like literally up and down.
Grandma's just like with 8 kids. She's like, just please get out of the house.
Oh, for sure.
Your hair looks great in the rain. Go outside.
Right, for sure. And so I'm like waiting for it to get little monkey curls. But you know what? When do you allow yourself to do something like that, just lighthearted? And does it have to have a big meaning? Does it have to go? Do you have to say, I did that when I was 6, or I did that when I was 10. I haven't done it since. I mean, if you did it then, you probably enjoyed it, just getting lost in the daydream of it, or getting lost in the moment, or the creativity of it, or the really present energy of it.
One of my favorite things about like connecting with my inner child personally, and then also like when I'm talking to other people, is like children are so open to experiences and to trying new things, and they're curious, and they're like, whoa, like a roller coaster, or oh, let's go play in the park, and they're just like, let's run in the park, and it's the best day ever. They're like, it's grass, like it's just grass, but they're having the greatest time because they're playing pretend, and their imagination is like flourishing, and they're coming up with stories and like plots, and like, I remember that's one of my things that I used to do when I was a kid, is I used to like play pretend, and I'd play fairies with my friends on the playground, and we'd all have these like really cool superpowers, but there'd always be this drama. Somebody would always betray us, and we'd always be like, oh no, and then they'd go to fairy jail, and we'd have to be like superheroes and like protect the world and stuff. So it's like, but what I love about that is it's so genuine and so pure, and it's like, as an adult, I think we kind of like judge ourselves. Maybe society kind of like beats that out of us.
We hold ourselves back.
We do, but like being able to tap back into that, and whether that's playing with your grandkids or your own kids, or even just like spending time with yourself and being like, what if today I was a superhero in my mind? What if today I went to the park and I just, probably not ran around because you probably look like a weirdo playing pretend by yourself. But like go have a picnic and like just enjoy it, and like get into the purity and like the really just like the innocence of experiencing a moment for the first time and being as present as possible to like tap into that inner child again.
Yes. So we've got some comments in here.
Yes.
I want to welcome Leafs in 2021. Welcome. And Tracy, she says, can you read Tracy's comment, honey?
Yeah. She said, used to make love potions, perfumes, always climbing trees when could. One of my weird ones was chewing wires. Oh no.
Oh no.
I stopped when I got a good shock. About 12. Haha, I think I was prepping myself for the next few years.
Well, I don't know. They do have something called a zapper, which sends some electric waves through you, and it's known to kill parasites and all kinds of stuff. So maybe, not that I would recommend it. Please don't. And if you're a child, please do not do that ever, ever, ever. But using something like the zapper, which is actually made for it specifically, that's something that's a real thing. Hi, Carol. Welcome.
Diana adds too. Oh my God, mud pies. My nickname was Annie Mary Mud Pie when I was little.
Oh, I love that.
So cute.
Annie Mary Mud Pie. That's adorable. Oh my gosh. Did anybody else eat snails? I'm just wondering. One of my sisters ate sour bugs.
Oh God.
Yeah. My sister, because we had a pool and they all, go to the bottom of the pool, and she used to grab them by the handful and put them in her mouth. So my mom was always scooping bugs out of our mouths. Maybe we were hungry. 8 kids,
Looking for snacks everywhere you go.
Yeah, exactly. So we were probably an odd bunch.
Well, you all have really good immune systems, so.
Yeah, exactly. So Diana says, no, I'm the only one on this snail thing. Well, yeah, I don't recommend it, but honestly, I must have liked it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have continued. So I did it until they stopped me.
Was it like a flavor thing or a texture thing? That's what I
really don't even remember. I just, it was my thing, I guess. I like to follow their little trails. I get so excited.
Ew.
I still love being outside in nature, although I don't eat everything I find. But it's so good for you to be out in nature. And sometimes being outside in nature kind of brings that inner child back to you. Lonnie and I take walks a lot. We've got beautiful trails by our house. And right now, actually, what do they call it? The geese? The geese just had their little babies. So there's one set of them have 7 little babies.
The babies are called goslings, I think.
Yeah. And then the other one have 2. And so I'm like, oh my God, they literally just hatched 2 days ago. So we go by there and it just,
yellow.
Oh, I get so excited, just like I'm a kid again. So I'm like, the babies, and I'm trying to get the picture, and the mom and dad are like, and I'm like, no, you're safe. I don't want to, I would never harm them. I just want to get their photo. They're so fun to watch. So just even doing things like that, anytime you can get around babies,
even on your walk,
if anything, yeah.
Even a little girl came up to you on your walk. And
oh gosh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm strutting down the street, and I'm talking to one of my closest friends on the phone, and I have my earphones in, and we're talking about all this stuff that we're getting excited about. And I see up ahead, there's a couple houses. It's a neighborhood, and the daddy was mowing the lawn. There's a little girl spinning around outside in the grass. She has blonde hair and a little dress, and she's just, I don't know what age, maybe between 4 and 6. And she's got this little hand of a bouquet full of dandelion flowers, and she must have been picking them for her dad as he was mowing by, right? So she sees me walking and gets so excited. She runs over to the street where I am, and she's like, wait, I have something for you. And I was like, what? And she takes one of the dandelions and hands it to me. And she's like, here, this is for you. And it was just so pure and so sweet. I'm like, wow. I'm like, thank you. I really appreciate that. And she's like, you have pretty nails. And I'm like, oh my God, even at that age, right? Oh, it's so cute. And so my entire walk is usually an hour. And I did not set that down. Was I tempted to? I was like, oh, I should probably just, toss this, into the woods. Or I passed a couple trash cans too. And I thought, no, there's no way. This was a gift of love from a little girl that didn't even know me. How sweet is that? So I carried it for the entire walk. Got home, put it on the counter, and I'm like, it just made me happy all day. Isn't that a simple little thing? And how often do we allow ourselves to be so happy from little things? And how often do we act like an inner child and do something like that that's simple that makes somebody else happy too?
I want to actually, there's a comment here that I think we can address too.
Okay.
I can't remember what I did when I was younger because it was bad memories.
Yes.
So talking about that, Carol, so we were
absolutely.
I'll pop in again.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before the broadcast because we were like, so the thing about being an only child, being your inner child, having an inner child,
an inner only child,
I mean, really, is that even as you get older, and we kind of mentioned this in the beginning too, even as you get older, it never goes away. It's always still there. And even if you didn't have those experiences as a child, it doesn't mean you can't experience them now. In fact, it's kind of like rediscovering that part of yourself, and you get to give yourself the opportunity. We're talking about too, like even as you age, it's almost as if you're parenting yourself in a way. Like you get to guide your inner child. You get to be like the adult version of you that gets to show your inner child in a safe, smart way, of course. But you get to experience all of those things again, or maybe for the first time. And it's actually a beautiful opportunity to kind of take it into your hands now and explore.
I would like to say this though, because I was one of those people, because I had a big family, 8 kids. When there was something traumatic that happened in our family, that became the story of my family. And so a lot of times when we would reflect upon our childhood, we would only remember the traumatic things, the losses, any violence, the scary things, or how we were sometimes felt like we were neglected, abandoned, not cared for, a lot of things, right? And that became our family group consciousness that really locked it in. So we all thought, that we grew up a certain way. And then as you go through life, and for me personally, as I did my own healing, I was able to actually recover a lot of really happy, really joyful memories also, and put my focus on those instead of the other. I also was able to heal the stuff that did kind of bind me to family group consciousness of the negative. And that really helped heal my soul as well. So there's always good and bad. And sometimes, like if there's a lot of fighting in the house, maybe you left the house and you went out in a field and made friends with neighbors and caught tadpoles, maybe that is a good memory. And so it depends on what your perspective is on it. So I want you to really also stretch yourself to find something that you enjoyed. As they all come together, right? We have good and bad happening together. And which one did you choose as a child? Because many times that's our natural instinct, is to go to something that makes us happy, to leave something that's holding us back or making us sad, and then to go to something that makes us happy. But as adults, we don't do that. We think we have to stay in the trauma. And so I want to give you guys permission also to leave those situations and go make yourself happy, even if it's just something silly or just for a day or just for a moment, that you can leave memories behind, that you can actually recover and retrieve better memories, that you can change your perspective on what you lived through. And I know also sometimes people have memories blocked. It was only through my healing work actually that I really started remembering some really great things. And I actually have a different perspective on my parents' parenting style now as they've gotten older and I've gotten older and healed my own stuff. I think that they did a really great job. Not only did they just do the best they could, but they actually did a really great job. And I've been able to compare them to a lot of my clients. And I'm like, well, you know what? They did have the right priorities. They really tried their best to raise us this way, with spiritual beliefs, with ethics, with morals. And yeah, they had failings and there were traumatic things that we went through. But honestly, overall, they really gave us their best effort. And a lot of things that I really am appreciative as I was a mother. And you're like, wow, I can't imagine having 8. And how did they financially support us all in big, beautiful houses? How did they do that? And both work and both still cook meals every night and both, it's crazy. So you look at things differently when you get older. So I would just say, look for the good, reclaim whatever childhood memories you can grasp onto, remember, recall. And sometimes it doesn't always come from you, especially if you're locked into a dynamic of group consciousness in your family. You might hear something from an old neighbor about a fun, silly memory. You're like, oh, I never thought about that because I had all this emotional turmoil going on that I kind of didn't pay any attention to the good stuff that was happening, And so even if somebody else brings it to you, that's a gift. And it's something you should really, really hold on to because it really helps your inner dialogue. And that can relieve so many anxieties, fear, disorders, traumas, everything. So it's a matter of going back in, taking a better look at this age, at this point in your life, and then seeing what things were of value, what things were enjoyable, what things were fun, and kind of switching them out, letting the other memories go and really holding onto the good ones and letting yourself fill up on that. And then also living in that same dynamic where you're allowing yourself to be in more joy. Okay. And I did see D. D popped in. Hello, D. Okay. Yeah. And other times, sometimes when we go through traumas, we literally block out our childhood. Sometimes people don't remember anything that happened to them before they were age 10. But also, it's not always trauma that does that. Many people lose their memories from childhood. So when we're 0 to 7 years old, our brain is in the theta brainwave a lot. And that's why we get so programmed by our surroundings. Everything that we're seeing and experiencing is going into our brain and creating neural pathways and patterns that we live out patterning through the rest of our life with. So by the time we're 7, we're pretty well programmed, and then we just start to live those patterns. So we often forget what happens before 7. And maybe you had a trauma, maybe you did not have a trauma. We still don't remember what happened usually before 7. It's very rare to come up with some specific memories from earlier than that. So a lot of times also I work with clients, that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, that want to uncover every single trauma so that they can recall what happened to them and then give that as their excuse for being a screwed up adult. And it's like, why is that even necessary? Because here's what happens. And I'm going to give you the short synopsis on this. If you have a buried trauma, if something happened that you don't remember when you were a baby or 2 years old, the event is not really what matters. It's the patterning or the belief system that you accepted because of the event. That's what needs to be healed.
How it's affecting you now.
Because yes, that's how it shows up in your life. That's what you bring forward. So if something happened and let's say that you were somehow abused when you were a young child, and that event caused you to believe that the world was unsafe or that you were unlovable or that whatever else filled you with fear and then allow you to feel safe and loved in your home, it's those beliefs that need to be changed and new feelings instilled so that now at whatever point you are in your life, you can actually feel what you would have felt if you were perfectly nurtured and cared for from the beginning. So it's about switching it up. You need to have those beliefs taken out, new feelings put in, and then you don't have to carry this trauma or unveil it or have huge confrontations or take 10 more years to heal it. It's like, no, let's just find those programs. Let's just find those harmful belief systems that you've been carrying for so long and give you some new feelings right in your DNA so that your soul can be like, it's healed, it's done. I'm in this moment in time now. I don't have to go back 40, 50 years. I could actually receive my healing right here, right now. And that's really the basic of all my work is I do theta healing sessions. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a healer. So when I connect with you and I can see those things going on in your paradigm, I know what needs to be pulled out. And then I know what feelings to put in to bring you to a full, more happy, whole, healed space. So I just want you to think about that. It doesn't take away from anything you've been through. I myself went through many, many different experiences like this, and it does not take away from that. But what it does do is it gives you all your power back, gives you the ability to be joyful and to take ownership. And what Lonnie and I were talking about before this episode was that, well, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but like you have the opportunity right now to be the parent of your inner child. So everywhere that you're feeling lack from your childhood or scared, maybe you didn't have the guidance that you wanted. Maybe you didn't have financial stability. Maybe you lived in a home that was toxic and that maybe you moved a lot. Maybe there was a lot of financial problems, hollering, maybe different addictions, different types of abuse going on. If you're a child that lived through that, you're going to be programmed a certain way for those experiences. And what happens is children that have been raised that way, hold a lot of fear and resentment towards their families that put them through that. But right here, right now, you can actually give yourself the gift of going, I release my parents and any other family members. I am myself stepping into the parental role. And from this point forward, loving my inner child and being the parent I always wished I had.
You're completely, what I love about this idea too is you're completely shifting your own narrative instead of,
Yeah.
and even it doesn't make
Here, come back.
it doesn't make the experiences that you went through any less significant
Right.
or any less okay. But
Right.
what it does is it shifts the narrative for yourself, and you get to put yourself in a position of power instead of in a position of victimhood. And you get to say, yeah, well, all that happened was not okay, and it was kind of crappy and big bummerville. I get to reclaim this energy for myself, and I get to like heal this little person that is inside of me and inside of you guys, and be able to like reconnect and be like, oh, hey kid, like,
yeah,
what do you need today?
I want to hear like oh, let's see, there's some more comments in here too. I want you guys to like write down like, first of all, I also want to say this because I did hold resentments. It's not like I just like one day was like, oh, everything's fine. I actually worked on it for a long time before I found the right tools to really help me shift the paradigm. And that's why I work as a practitioner of data healing. So I did actually carry resentments for the bulk of my adult life. I tried really hard to heal, and I had a lot of resentment, a lot of blame. It was really, really hard for me to get through some of the things that I went through in my childhood. So I'm not just diminishing anything that any of you have experienced, but I want to also let you know it's possible to shift it, because what you're shifting is not the past, but you're freeing yourself from having to remember it and go back into that energy all the time. And you're allowing yourself to just go, what has happened. But if I lead now and I'm the parent now, and from this point forward, I'm loving my inner child, nurturing her, making her feel safe, making good, smart, loving decisions, providing stability, all the things that I wanted, right? You can give that to yourself now. And it's absolutely amazing and powerful to release the resentment and the blame and the lack and the fear that goes along with very toxic childhoods.
I love it. Reclaim your power and like reclaim yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
At any age,
Well, a lot of my clients are in their 60s, and when any kind of crisis comes up, they revert back to their child selves. And they go back into arguing and family dynamics and which one's the oldest, and that one has the most responsibility, and then this one's the baby, so they get to be the brat, and everyone plays their roles, and it's like, no, that's nonsense. That's pre-programming. That's playing a family group consciousness dynamic instead of being present. So what we need to understand is when we go through traumas, we are often triggered into our childhood because maybe that's the first time we experienced fear. Maybe that's the first time we experienced not having stability in our home. And so we do revert back there, but we can quickly grab it there. If we have the awareness that that's what's happening, we can heal the original emotions that we had in the situation that caused this patterning. And it literally releases all through the timeline to your current state so that you can step into your grown-up self. You can step into the present moment as a parent of your inner child and make really responsible grown-up decisions for yourself that are emotionally balanced and not triggered from your childhood wounds.
Love it.
Yeah. So hi, Sedina, welcome.
Dee says, Bummerville, my new word, money.
Yeah, write that one down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my hair is moving. Okay, so it must be these ponytails. Okay. So anybody, any other comments in here?
Let me see. Diana, yes, absolutely. Inner healing work is the key to discovering happiness and joy now.
Yes.
Agreed, big time.
Yes.
Karina says, I would go and catch ladybugs to honor my inner child. That's awesome.
Love ladybugs.
So awesome.
I did never eat those. So just so you know.
That would be a different kind of, that'd be crunchy. Crunchy bugs. All right, maybe we should do the meditation. I'm thinking.
Yes, also, yeah. So, and also Leafs in 2021, she has a nice comment too, honey.
This one here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, they tried, foundation,
Yeah.
they always put a roof over our head, awesome, wholesome food, garden. We all worked on the table, kept clean clothing, good shoes, especially celebrity. That's good.
Yeah, that's
Good.
awesome. You know, sometimes like in my adult life, my siblings always tell the story about like how there was never enough food and we'd eat so fast so we could like try to get seconds and there was too many mouths to feed. And now that I'm much older and also healed those issues, when I reflect back, I'm like, no, actually, we always had plenty of food. We did. And not only that, but home cooked food. You know, my mom literally made dinner every single night from scratch, you know. So
That's goals.
yeah, it's don't
I love
definitely.
that.
It wasn't fast food. And we always
Yeah.
thought we were like, then we thought we were neglected, right? Because we didn't get Pepsi Cola or McDonald's. No, she was making healthy food, you know. So it's funny,
Nourishment, yeah.
nourishment. So it's funny how your perspective changes when you really see things in a different light.
And also, I think they add here too. I still go for walks in my rain boots with an umbrella. Big family too.
Oh,
Always told to go outside. Funny how that works, huh?
You know what? You gotta love that. You know, I only had one child, and so I never had the need to like get her outside to play. But if I had 8, damn right, I would be like, get outside. The golden rule was don't come back until the street lights turn on, because we lived in California. So when it got dusk, the street lights would come on, and that was like, oh, hurry, mom's making dinner. We got to get home right now. And then we're like in fear running, you know, because we don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, that was it. It was like, get outside, you know, and then don't come back until it's dark. So, but you know what? I think it's great because kids don't play outside anymore. You know how many forts I built? And then as I grew older, we moved to Minnesota later on, and we used to make our own igloos with mom's meatloaf pan. And it was so cool. We'd go into the igloos in terrible blizzards, and they were the coolest little forts. And we'd sit in there and journal, and you know, we'd like totally camouflage them and put like big branches over them so people couldn't even see the igloo, and it'd be in the woods, and we'd open up this really cool door and go inside. And then we used a lighter on the inside to really ice it up. It was like so sturdy. I mean, the thing would never melt, like way late into spring before that thing came down to the ground. But yeah, it's like building forts. We had so much fun playing outside. It's really good for your imagination, for your physical activity, just so many, and nature itself is healing. So I highly advise that even as an adult, especially as an adult. So, and we got Tina. Hi, Tina from Manchester. Hello, welcome. All right. So, yeah, I would like to actually do a little guided meditation. We'll run through it rather quickly. It's not very long, but I invite you to join me. So, whether you're here live or if you're watching this on the replay, it's all good. So, with that in mind, let's like really help you step up as the parent to your inner child, releasing any old energies and allowing you to be the nurturer and allowing you to reparent yourself in the present day. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes with me as I lead you through this guided meditation. It'll be, like I said, very short, but I'm going to be adding a spiritual healing to this. So I'm actually not just saying the words, and I don't want you just to imagine. I will actually be shifting things for you. So this is an activated healing while you're listening to this. So go ahead now and close your eyes. Oh, nice. Take a nice deep breath in and then blow it out. Just like you're blowing out a birthday candle. And this is what Spirit just showed me. Really imagine you're blowing out a birthday candle, because that brings you right back into your youth. So nice deep breath in and out. And I don't know how many candles are on that cake, but let's give it a good blowout. So one more in. Good. And I can actually see birthday cakes and candles and family and different things around this event. So let's go ahead and go back into our childhood for a moment. And I want you just to feel one moment in your life as a child where you remember the excitement around a birthday party, the excitement of a gift or the birthday cake or having a special friend or family member come over, anything that you can recall that was good and valuable. And I want you to feel your joy increase. And I want you to feel the anticipation of that. And I want you to remember what it felt like to be excited about little things and what it felt like to have your special day and to be celebrated. I want you just to really, really feel those emotions for a moment. And no matter how you ever felt this different than that, if you had birthdays that didn't go so well, or maybe grown-ups were having bad behavior that kind of wrecked it, let's not let them wreck it anymore. Let's just allow you to really keep all the happy, joyful feelings that you experienced. Let's just tune them out. Let's take those memories out of our events from childhood. And let's basically just dust them off. Let go of them, so that you can get back to your center, you can get back to your authentic self, you can get back to your child, your inner child that's happy, joyful, creative, positive, loved, lovable. Let's release all the resentments from all the grown-ups and all the other people around us that didn't show up the way we wanted them to. And let's release right now any traumas, any blame, and any shame that we've been carrying since our childhood. And now I'm going to bring in a healing to awaken your inner child. Right here, right now, wherever you're at, your inner child is literally waking up, standing in front of you and looking at you. And you're having this exchange where you're now explaining to them, from this day forward, I am going to reparent you. I'm your new parent. And you can just see your inner child light up and get so excited. They feel so safe and happy to reconnect with you in this way. And I'm going to bring in a download of unconditional love and healing to every cell of your body, and especially to your inner child, so they can really, really connect with you and really be excited and eager for you to continue parenting them with love, support, joy, and playfulness, and responsibility. So let's go ahead and bring that energy in. Okay, and I want you just to say to your inner child, this is my vow to you. I will always take the best care of you by ensuring that you have proper nutrition, healthy exercise, emotional stability, love and support, and that I will be the one to give this to you. And that we can also receive this from others without strings attached, that we can receive this in highest and best ways. Okay. Good, good. Okay, you guys can open your eyes. I just saw like a dozen of you get your life purpose. It just literally was like zing. As soon as you made that commitment to your inner child, I saw this reconnect of what you came here to do, or what lights you up, what makes you passionate, and what makes you have fun. So that's one of the things that happens when we reawaken and reconnect with our inner child, is that all of a sudden we wake up and go, oh my God, I remember what I used to think was so fun here. And all of a sudden you're going to notice you can start implementing that. Even if you're in a 9-to-5 job or a corporate job, you can start implementing those things either in the way that you're doing your job, or you can do them as activities or hobbies after work, or start getting together with friends and bringing in this energy of it. But some of you will actually be changing careers altogether. I'll tell you that right now, because I saw it come in really strong. So
what I love about connecting with your inner child too is you're connecting with your authentic self. And
yes,
what that does, when you connect with your authentic self, you bring in other people
yes,
that vibe with your authentic self. That's friendships, that's job opportunities,
yes,
and that's also relationships. So for those of you that are looking for your soulmate or your soul partner,
thank you. Yes,
that's what the Love Witch is all about. She's all about like hooking people up, not hooking them up, but like connecting them with their soul partners and their spiritual companions. So just a quick reminder, she also has the love book out and it's available on Amazon.
Yes,
also,
of course. We're thinking about maybe redoing the cover. So Lonnie's considering, we kept it really simple so it'd be easy to find. But right now, Lonnie's considering redoing the cover and make it more noticeable that it's like to help you really heal your heart and find your soulmate. I'd love to see your comments in the chat room if you think we should change the cover.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know because we just kept it simple for this reason, but now we're like, maybe we should make it a little more sassy. So let us know what you think.
Yeah. Also, for those of you that are looking to manifest your soulmate, she offers the Manifesting Your Soulmate system.
Of course I do.
Check it out.
Yes, and that's what it's all about, you guys, because so many of us, we live our life without our head and our heart being in balance.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're too intellectual about life and love, and sometimes we are dealing with our life through a broken heart, so we're not bringing in experiences that elevate us or that we can really, really find joy in. So it's really important to have your head and your heart in balance. And what happens, and that's what just happened when we did the inner child awakening, was that the head and heart came into balance and boom, that's when life purpose happens. That's when the path gets illuminated. You should never have to try to figure out what you're supposed to do. Okay. When your head and heart are connected, you know what you want to do because it's not have to do. It's what lights you up, what makes you happy. And I have shared this before in my episodes, but like aside from eating all those weird bugs and mud pies, the other most fun thing that I did was I had disguises under my bed. I had a suitcase full of wigs and glasses and all kinds of things so I could be a spy. And
ghost towns.
I love going to ghost towns all through Arizona, Nevada, California deserts. We went to ghost town after ghost town. They intrigued me. I was so fascinated by them. And then look at me now. I'm like, I'm a medium and hey, wearing wigs, So we all have these things that could seem so simple from your childhood, but they're in your heart and you have a unique path. Your path is not what you were taught is in school. They did not go get that responsible job so you can pay your bills. You can turn your life path into a beautiful, thriving career. And if your head and heart are in balance, you'll be very, very successful.
What I love about that too is like I know we keep making that joke about the eating bugs off the beach and following their little snail trails and such, but you know that there's going to be somebody out there that will relate to that story.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like a food tester or a chef.
Yeah.
Or
I could have done that too. I love food.
Yeah, and that's like you never know how things connect, but whatever you're passionate about as a child, it definitely translates to what you're passionate about as an adult. It just gets shifted into a different space. But
we tend to put it on the back burner.
Yeah, you can bring it forward. Some people love playing pretend as kids. They love telling stories and they grow up to be actors or writers or, they work in media, things like that. So it's like there's always a place for your passion.
Yeah. And when we were 10, we moved to Minnesota. And what did we find in those woods? But a big abandoned brick building that was totally full of ghosts. It was literally an abandoned nursing home that used to be a poor farm. And before that, an insane asylum. So, that was my stomping ground. I grew up playing in there and we had little keys to every door and we could walk through this abandoned building. And my siblings thought of it differently, like a big playground, and they did graffiti and stuff. But I was connecting with the spirits there. And I would read their love notes to each other and look at their photos and feel their life force energy and what was important to them throughout their life. And I knew their heartbreak story and also the things that lit them up and made their life so valuable. And so I was connecting in a different way. So, it was a great pleasure to go there like 5 years ago as a paranormal investigator and go back in and help heal those spirits that were still there and help cross them over. That was just amazing. So everything comes full circle. So I want to invite you to start your, maybe keep an inner child journal and start recalling some of your youthful memories, leaving out the things that made you upset, the things that maybe rerouted you, got you off your path. Just write about the things that you remember that you enjoy, that you remember doing that made you happy, who was around you in those moments, in those memories. And I want to invite you to reach out to some of them again, reestablish contact. Maybe they'll bring some more things and trigger some things. If you're still trying to figure out what you liked, your friends from back then will remember how they spent time with you. So I want to kind of help you open Pandora's box on this in a way and help reignite some of your beautiful, joyful memories in your childhood so that you can easily remember what your life path is, what you came here to do.
You got some comments here too. Dee said, "Wow, that was so powerful. I got emotional over that."
Oh, thank you, Dee.
I know, that was a beautiful meditation.
Thank you.
Diana agrees. Yes, when you reconnect with your authentic self, all the right people start showing up, and it's really awesome.
Yes, thank you, Diana.
Love that. Dee also adds, "Not a white cover."
So a new one. All right, got it, girl. Thank you.
And then Tracy adds here, "Love it as is. The beautiful Lonnie is the one to sass it up." Thank you, Tracy, with more magic love. Yeah, I think it needs a little. I think you guys are both right. I think it needs a little more spice. So
we're gonna
tweak it.
We're gonna tweak it. All right, let's pull some love hearts quick.
Yeah.
All righty. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. All right. And so let's see which. We got our little bag here. Whoa! Uh-oh, too many.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, laugh at yourself. Perfect. Whoop. Oh, you can't take the card down, honey? Okay, laugh at yourself. Yeah, so I'm like gonna laugh at myself because ever since I put my little pony, they're not even. And then some reason my wig keeps slipping back farther and farther. So I'm like, my bangs keep getting shorter. It's good to laugh at yourself. Life is imperfect. And it's good just to like be like, well, whatever, like that wasn't spot on, but why do we always think we have to be perfect or show up and with such effort and hard work, and I am the first. I'm a Capricorn, so I am a hard worker, but I also am somebody that always really implements fun and joy.
Yeah, and I think too, like being able to laugh, like life is beautiful because of its imperfections.
Yes,
that's
what
brings
right.
so much joy. Like you might stumble, but then it creates a great story.
Yes.
And then you got something funny to laugh at for the rest of your life. Everything like kind of happens for a reason, and we talk about that on Love Witch quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's laughing at yourself provides so much freedom, and life should be free. It should be fun. It should be like imperfect.
And what you brought up earlier, Lonnie, because sometimes I forget, if there's anybody new, a lot of you guys are coming back, but if there's anybody new that's logged in, the whole reason behind the pink wig is to help you raise your love vibration. This is the color of soulmate love. When you fall in love with your soulmate, you literally get a pink aura. And so I wear the pink wig to honor you guys and to help you bring in your soulmate and to remember how loved you are. The more you're in your authentic self, the more you're giving yourself unconditional love, the more you magnetize the person that's truly meant for you. They have to kind of, when you meet later in life and you're carrying a lot of wounds, they're like, they can't see through the forest because they can't see your authentic self that's so shiny and pure and a perfect fit for them. Because there's like all these layers of wounds, so it's kind of like, where are you? I can't find you. And you could be standing right next to them. So that's why the self-healing is so very, very important. It illuminates who you really are. So you can absolutely easily and instantly magnetize your soul tribe and your soulmates. So that's what the Love Witch is all really about, is bringing you into a place of self-love so you can have the love of your life, wonderful, loving, supporting friends, a do-over, a start over from this point forward. And it's all about the decisions you make from now forward, not the ones that were made in the past. Yeah. So I do like to note that for anybody new. Okay, so let's see. And what else do we have here? Okay. Perfect. Oop. Talk to an old friend. That's what I was just saying. So you guys, think about your youth. I mean, even if you don't reestablish a friendship, sometimes it's still really cool to reach out to somebody that you played with when you were 10 years old and be like, hey, what's going on in your life? And a lot of people actually do that through Facebook now. But sometimes, it takes a little effort to connect. And, you know, I thought it was really sweet. When my grandmother was put in a nursing home, one of her friends found out and she called me because she was trying to find my grandmother. And she was like, can you give me your grandma's, you know, email address or whatever? I want to send her a card. We haven't talked since we were little girls. And I was like, oh my God, how sweet. So getting a message, a love message, or reconnect from the past is really endearing and really meaningful. So don't wait until you're at that stage of life. Reconnect with somebody now. And again, it doesn't have to be to, maybe you don't have things in common. Maybe you don't really vibe with each other and want to be besties anymore, but it's still thoughtful to reach out from time to time. You know, so consider that, and it would be very helpful for you because it can help you remember good things about your childhood and about what you really enjoyed doing. Okay, so let's get one more. All right, and let's see. Okay, well, if it says to go shopping, we better. It says update wardrobe. You know me, I talk about shopping a lot on this channel. I love shopping. And I think it's really good for you guys to buy new stuff for yourself all the time. You know, I've got this like constant thing. I go buy new clothes, I wear it a little bit, then I go to the Goodwill, and I go buy new clothes. But I like to constantly shop, and I really appreciate wearing new things. And I also live in an area that has 4 seasons. So it's fun. And even if you can't afford like a whole wardrobe, you can afford accessories, you know, so treat yourself to some things. It's just good for you. It kind of loosens up the energy. And remember, when you're in the flow with money, you're in the flow with love. So spending is like giving. It gives to you. It gives an energy that comes back to you. Your money will always be replaced. And if you intend it to, your money will always be replaced tenfold. So go and buy yourself something today with that in mind and allow your money to fill up behind it. Okay. Create that vacuum for yourself.
Monkey adds, when you let go, you create space for better things to enter your life.
Yes. Hi,
How
Monkey. Thanks for joining
true.
us. And Eliza, thank you. Hello. It's nice to see you again.
Monkey Doll Queen, love that username.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, you guys. Well, we're about done. And we thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our meditation, our healing today. If you're tuning in for, you know, at this point and you want to go back and watch it, you can do that on Facebook. And then after it's finished the streaming processing, it will be alive on YouTube forever. So,
and if you guys have any questions that you didn't get answered this week, tune in next week.
Yes.
Every Sunday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Absolutely.
Come hang out with us. We'll do some healings. We'll do some answering questions and spiritual guidance.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. Diana's saying goodbye, and thank you. Bye, Allison, goodbye. We'll see you next time. I love you.
We love you.